Alright everybody, welcome to episode 260 of Psykos Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. So, I have to apologize to you guys. A lot of medical stuff has gone down as to why I haven't been able to really make a show over the last couple of weeks. The wife was in the hospital, Wifey Psycho, Mrs. Psycho, was in the hospital for 18 days, and for a little bit it was touch and go. We thought maybe it was cancer. It turned out it was not, so we're very happy on that. She got home a day or two back, and she's slowly on the mend. I've been playing nurse. I'm nursemaid Psycho here, and hopefully continued prayers for her healing. So that can go well as well, combined with my dad back up in the Chicagoland area. He had to have a liver biopsy done, and because they detected something, and they also detected cysts on his pancreas. So please continued prayers out to my dad Jerry. Saying this, let's go to the rest. We're going to call this episode LP Finds with Elvis, because the back end of this episode is going to be all Elvis finds, LP finds, okay? So, starting off the episode, all of these I picked up right around Thanksgiving. I told you guys I had some backlog here, but one of my resale places that I go to in Northwest Arkansas, they have quarter albums. Yeah, most of the time it's crap, honestly. But if you get there on the right day, boom, you can end up with some fun. This is the same resale place that I found that 1956 Rockabilly 45 that's worth $1,500, and I picked that up from this joint. So who knows, right? So we start off with, and I know the the corner is dog-eared, but I just don't have this album. And I like Jan and Dean. Jan and Dean Take Linda Surfing. This here's from 1963. The 45 off of here, which was Linda, was 28 on the Billboard charts and 26 on Cashbox. The album itself, though, was Billboard 71 is where it went to. It was their third album, actually. Both met in 1957 in high school and began singing in the showers along with some football players in their high school, including actor James Brolin. Future actor James Brolin was singing along with them. In late 57, they formed the Barons, which included future partner Arnie Ginsberg, which would be Jan and Arnie, of course, and also briefly had drummer Sandy Nelson and future Beach Boy Bruce Johnston. March of 58, Dean goes into the Army Reserve. Arnie steps in. Jan and Arnie end up on Arwen Records, and they cut Jenny Lee with Ernie Freeman's combo backing them. Sometimes I can't read my own writing. Lands in the top 10. They cut two more singles, and Gone by January 59 for Dean to come back. Their first single, Baby Talk, which was released accidentally as Jan and Arnie, made it into the top 10 in mid-1959. And you know what? They kept obviously making records after that for Arwen and then Liberty, and Challenge too. They cut a couple 45s. But after late 1964, though, their star started to wane. But they still got into the top 30. August 1965, though, tragedy would slowly strike here. Jan got hurt while on a film shoot. And then April 12, 1966, where the near-fatal auto accident occurred near Dead Man's Curve. Mid-1970s, they reunited on and off until Jan's death in 2004. Personal little story here. Jan and Dean were supposed to perform, this would have been, I think it was 99 or 2000, I want to say, in Rockford, Illinois on the Waterfront Festival. And I was actually very excited to go to this. I really was, because I love, surf music and such. And I was just like, wow, this would be pretty cool. And I knew Jan wasn't exactly all back up to his faculties, we'll say. I knew that. I was pretty much going for the nostalgia factor. And at the last minute, I think it was even announced on the radio that the Jan and Dean show was canceled, which turned out to actually be false. What happened was, and it was mentioned, it wasn't mentioned until that actual afternoon the concert was supposed to happen. Dean was interviewed. He was there in Rockford. And I'm going, wait a minute, I thought they canceled the damn thing. They even said on the radio. Nope. Dean showed up, but he brought some friends at the last minute, including Al Jardine from the Beach Boys. I'm trying to remember who the hell else was there. There was 2 or 3 semi-namers showed up with Dean for the rest of this tour, because I guess Jan had to bow out several days before the Rockford appearance. So I guess maybe I should have went, but still, I like Jan and Dean. Take Linda surfing. There was talk that when they got big, Jan and Dean kind of had this abrasive relationship, sort of. But I'm not sure how true that is, but there it goes. So Jan and Dean, Take Linda surfing. Alright, this next one, Drifters Golden Hits. Drifters Golden Hits from 1968. Now, this is not, unfortunately, an original press. Okay, it's not. It looks to be like it's in early 70s, maybe mid-70s, could be later than that. Made it to number 22 on the Billboard Black Album charts, made it to 122 on the Billboard Pop. The material was recorded between 1959 and 66, ranging from Benny King, Johnny Moore, and Charlie Thomas, singing along with many others. Backing singers Doris Troy, Diane, and Dee Dee Warwick and Cissy Houston appear on Save the Last Dance, For Me, I Count the Tears, and Some Kind of Wonderful. This is a record club issue, by the way. That's the reason why I grabbed it. I know you can't see it really well, but it says RCA Music Edition, so kind of neat, like I said, to find that, and in minty condition, too. So, okay, next. A really interesting soundtrack to a cult film that I actually enjoy, even though I've only seen it a handful of times. Are you waiting with anticipation? Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. You either love it or you hate it. I'm in the love category. I saw it the first time in Halloween 1985 in a little theater in Norwich, Illinois, and we brought our bags of stuff that you're supposed to bring, to discover that there was only 12 people in the damn movie theater. And that included us, by the way. So, to make things a lot more interesting, and we were not drunk by any means, we ended up going up on the stage, so you got the screen behind us, and my friend Lisa, we called her LJ, she was like, alright, follow what I'm going to do. And what it was the time warp dance. So we're sitting there trying to do this, and we've got the movie going behind us. It's a little loud up there. And so we're watching her lead, and so we're doing the time warp very clumsily. And then at the end, when we all stepped off from the stage, we were given applause by the 6 people. so there you go for your Rocky Horror moment. This thing made it number 49 on the Billboard charts. Even though it came out in 75, it didn't chart till 78 on that. 3 songs that were not originally on the soundtrack show up on the 25 Years of Absolute Pleasure set in 2000. Some of the personnel recording this album included Procol Harum's Mick Grabham and B.J. Wilson, session bassist Dave Winter, and John Rabbit Bundrick, who was with Free, Who, and the Others. This is the front, this is the back, and oh wow, I like that. It's even on a picture label too. Very nice. I actually happen to have the original London cast recording of that album. I found that years ago. Can't remember if I showed you guys that though. I might have to dig that up someday. Okay, next. This would have been more fitting if I would have had a chance to play it. This is nicely die cut. Very, very cool. From late 1980, Johnny Cash's classic Christmas. Here on Columbia. Here's the front, here's the back. This was his 3rd Christmas LP. His next Christmas LP would not be until 1991, which would also be his final Christmas LP during his life. This was performed with the Bill Walker Orchestra and Chorus. It's always nice to find Johnny Cash for a quarter. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so here's the story on the rest, which is Elvis finds. Thank you very much. I wanted to actually do this episode on Elvis's birthday, but I told you why that didn't happen. So, when I was at that resale shop, there was a big box of albums, which those that I just showed you and these that I'm going to show you were in. There was a lot more Elvis in that box than what I grabbed. I only grabbed about 5 albums, okay? But there was about a dozen. Yeah, I'd say about a dozen. But the condition on those other ones were just bleh. I got the best of the bunch, honestly. And the first one I'm going to show you, thanks to Vinyl Grotto host Doug Fields, because he looked at it, he goes, "This label doesn't look quite right," and then he explained. So we start off with from February 1970, Elvis, February 1970 on stage. This made number 13 Billboard, number 6 in Canada, number 2 in the UK. It was released in June of 1970 and was recorded February 17th and 20th at the International Hotel in Vegas, except for the tunes Yesterday and Runaway, which were recorded both in August of '69. Here's the front, here's the back. James Burton, Jerry Sheff, Charlie Hodge, and others are backing band for this album. In 1999, BMG re-released this with 6 bonus tracks. Polk Salad Annie, CC Ryder, and a couple others made their first appearance on Elvis records and in the Elvis live set. Now, what Doug noticed, and I mean, I'm just going to pull this sleeve. The print on this is a little thinner than what you normally would expect on an RCA. American. That's because it's not. It turns out that this is a Philippine press. So, a nice Philippine copy of Elvis 1970 on stage. Very nice indeed for that. Now, this next one, I know a bunch of you have seen it at Goodwill's and such, and I have seen this one at Goodwill's and such. Yeah, RCA Camden's You'll Never Walk Alone. This came out in March of 1971. Number 69 on the Billboard charts, 46 in Canada, 20 in the UK. UK loved their Elvis, that's for sure. Here's the front, here's the back. Gospel tracks, some going back to 1957, and 2 unreleased tracks. Let Us Pray, from the Change of Habit soundtrack. There was not a vinyl. That kind of surprised me, but then again, maybe not. Why there never was a Change of Habit soundtrack, considering that they pretty much made all the other ones into soundtrack albums, but Change of Habit didn't do it, or at least an EP or something. I'm very surprised. So yeah, Let Us Pray was from the Change of Habit soundtrack, and Who Am I, which was an outtake from early '69 from the Elvis and Memphis sessions. This is the last RCA Camden Elvis to have unreleased material, so I think that's kind of cool in its own weird way. We're getting there, guys. Okay, next. From June 1971, Love Letters from Elvis. This is the front. This is the back. Let's see what we got here. Yep, orange vinyl with the dreaded Dynaflex. I hate Dynaflex. 33 on Billboard, 17 Canada, number 7 in the UK. This is leftover tracks from June 1970 sessions, which made up That's the Way It Is and Elvis Country. Single Life only made it to number 53 on the Billboard. Session people included James Burton, Chip Young, Norbert Putnam, and others. The reissue on that Follow That Dream label release. Follow That Dream seems to be a very cool label. I would love to find some stuff from them. Included 4 bonus songs and 7 first takes and a second CD of outtakes and undubbed masters. So, Love Letters from Elvis, 1971. Alright, now, this next one actually there's a personal attachment to this. I had this years ago. I think most of you people know that I started out as an Elvis fan real early, but for most of you guys, obviously earlier than me, 1976. 76 is when I actually started kind of really getting into him and finding all kinds of things. And this was actually one of the first Elvis records I ever got. Elvis Volume 1, Legendary Performer. Yes, I know. I remember seeing a bunch of these in cutout bins by then. That's how I got this, was as a cutout. So, came out in January 74. 41 on the Billboard charts, 48 in Canada, top 20 in the UK. This is first of 4 volumes. This is the front, this is the back. This, of course, comes with a nice, well, sorry, hang on a minute. A nice picture book. Most do for those. And so first of 4 volumes. Some of the highlights on this particular volume are unreleased take of I Love You Because from the Sun Sessions, July 1954. Tonight's All Right for Love, May of 1960, from the European edition of GI Blues, and several 1968 comeback special outtakes. 2 interview segments that were on here were from the 1958 Elvis EP, Elvis Sales, which I'm told is incredibly hard to find. Now, Volume 2 comes out in 1976, Volume 3, 1978, and finally Volume 4 in 1982, and then after that they just start putting things accordingly with unreleased stuff. The last album from July 1974, Elvis recorded live on stage in Memphis. Here's the front, here's the back. You know what, guys? Someday I will go visit Graceland, but I don't think I'll be visiting inside Graceland. Those tickets are ridiculous. But I would like to take a picture in front of the gates. I know lots of people that do that, and I want to do that too. So, alright. Number 33 Billboard, number 27 Canada, 44 in the UK. Recorded March 20 in 1974 at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis. This was his 5th live album in 5 years, and his last before he died. The 2004 Follow That Dream reissue had 2 extra live tracks. The 2014 Sony/RCA 2-disc release may be the best to get for this. And it's got the 2004 reissued tracks, plus bonus near-identical concert from Richmond, recorded March 18, 1974, and 5 unissued studio rehearsals. Live personnel included James Burton, Charlie Hodge, Ronnie Tutt, and others. So this is what you got for the Elvis Vines. And let's see, what label do we got this on? Oh, let's see, 74. It'd still be orange, right? So I got a reissue. I don't care. That's fine. That'll work until I get originals. All right, new subs, and a bunch of new subs. I appreciate that, guys. Like and subscribe to Psykos Platters, please. When we've gotten so close to 600 subs, we are going to have a contest. We will. I swear we will. But we just keep. So the new subs: AY33 IDEK, IDEK, Culture Fan, Cosmic Vinyl, Alex Spin Vinyl, Tone and Grooves, William Now, Andy. Oh boy, I can never. Sorry, Andy. I know I'm going to butcher this. Derusiso. Sorry. Megachev McRockmick. So thank you all for subscribing to Psykos Platters. Indeed, I will try to keep you guys entertained and informed. That is a fact. I have got so much stuff backlogged for episode-wise. I got more LP finds. We're also going to go off and do a 2- or 3-part episode on what was the sham institution of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, mainly just to show signed pieces from various members of groups that are, or solo artists that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And like I said, it's going to be a 3-part because I've got more stuff coming. It may take a little while. Some of it will be as late as April, so that's why I'm saying these will probably be spaced out for those. Also, hopefully, an episode or two with Doug Fields again from Vinyl Grotto. We always have a good time when we're doing episodes there too. So, and also coming up in May, a possible record crawl if you are in the North Carolina area. So, everybody take care, God bless, rock on, and just be alright, guys, okay? Bye.